Now, women in general love sex. hmm Now, in as much as they pretend, they shy away, they don't want to talk about it, trust you me, they do love it so much. Especially if she is having it with a guy who has this size of a D. Then trust you me, she would love it and she would feel like having it with him again and again and again and again. Now, as a guy, I know how much you feel proud once you have this big size over D. Now, let me ask you something. Did you know that it's very possible for you to one day wake up only to realize that your this size of a D has shrinked and decreased to this little boring size? Did you know that? Now, it's not something that men detect easily. Why? Because it happens gradually. It's not something that changes or that reduces instantly. Nope, it's a gradual process. So unless if you have a woman who is so keen on your performance, unless you have a woman who is so keen on your D, only then will you be able to find out easily and very fast that your D has actually shrinked. Now that brings us to a topic of discussion today, which is penis shrinkage. And that is a term used for a D that has reduced from its normal size to a little small size of a manhood. Now, in case this is the kind of topic that interests you, which I am very sure it is, how about you sit, relax, because I am going to be right back with more onto this topic. You know, I love you guys, right? So don't you dare move an inch. I'll be right back. Hi, guys. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and thank you for keeping it with me up to this far. Well, my name is Palm Oil, aka GCP, and on this channel, I do topics to do with love, sex, and relationships. And guess this is your piece of content that hey, you are both welcome and you're free to make this your home. Okay. Well, like I said earlier, today we are going to be looking at some of the reasons that may be responsible for the shrinkage of your manhood, or reasons that may be responsible for the shrinkage of your manhood with time to come. That is, if you are not yet there. And definitely, we'll also be looking at the remedies. So make sure to keep it with me up to the end so that you do not miss out on any of today's points. Because trust me, they will be useful to you or to somebody else in your life. Okay. Now, point number one reason that can cause a penis to shrink or to decrease in size is prolonged lack of sex. Now, I know most of you are like, wait a minute, really? As in, really? Well, yes, my dear, really, as in, really. Now, in as much as having lots of sex, especially with multiple partners, has its own side effects like unwanted pregnancies, contracting STDs, contracting AIDS, equally, prolonged lack of sex also has its own side effects. And what we are looking at today is one of them. Yeah. Now, we all know that every part of our body is supposed to be active. Yeah. So once a man goes dormant for long without having sex, automatically that means his manhood is dormant. That means that the blood that flows through his manhood, through his veins, is dormant. And we all know that once something goes dormant for long, that means it's going to lose its ability to perform. And that means that the next time this organ or this thing would want to be used again for performance, it will need some time to exercise and get back on track. Okay. So apart from your dish shrinking, it also means that for some time you won't be able to perform well, let alone satisfy a woman. You will need to practice it or to do it several times before you get back on track. So the number one reason that may cause a manhood to decrease is prolonged lack of sex. Okay. Once your manhood is dormant, then trust you me, it will shrink. It's just like when someone goes long without eating, okay, automatically they'll lose weight, isn't it? So equally, when your manhood is dormant, trust you me, it will shrink and it will decrease in size. So the remedy for that, of course, is not taking so long without having sex. Now, I'm not saying that go on the street and grab whichever skirt that you get along so that you don't get onto this problem. No, 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 no. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying make sure that you get your partner and have sex for a normal period of time. Okay, that has been our point number one. Number two reason that may be responsible for a man's need to shrink is aging. Aha. Now, this is one of the things that we can never run away from. You can never run away from age. That is why I so much sympathize with us women who so much pretend to cut our edge. Oh, now it doesn't matter how many times you cut your edge, but one time edge will catch up with you and you will have to accept and surrender and be like, now I am edged. Okay, now when it comes to men, as they grow older in age, that is about 40, 45, 50, then they will have an effect on their manhood. Most times, their manhood will shrink. Now, in as much as we do not have powers over our age, but there are things that, as a man, the things that you can do in your early age that will help to control your manhood from shrinking once you get to the older age. Now, one of the things that you can do is eating healthy. Mm? Now, when I say eating healthy, I'm not talking about chicken, I'm not talking about chips, I'm not talking about pork, I'm not talking about these lots of beers. That's not what I'm talking about. When I say eat healthy, I am talking about eating boiled food. I am talking about eating lots of vegetables. I am talking about eating lots of fruits. And I am talking about avoiding as much as possible eating lots of fat. Okay? That will help you so much when you get aged. And number two is make exercising a routine in your life. Okay? Now, point number three reason that may be responsible for the shrinkage of a man's penis is smoke. Now, most guys start smoking from the age of 20, 25, 30, 40. So by the time a man reaches 50, he is a real perfect smoker. Now, we all know of how smoking is never good to anybody's health, okay? So whether you are doing it directly or you are just a passive smoker, still it's not good for your health, okay? Now, in this cigar, there is this particular chemical that inhibits the flow of blood, okay, in your body. So that means that the blood that has been going through the veins in a man's penis will be blocked and stopped. And once that happens, automatically that means that his performance is going to decrease. And also, that means that his ejaculation process will also be stopped. And at the end of the day, that will mean that this guy will not be able to perform properly. And in the end, his deal will start shrinking and reducing in size. Okay, so guys, if you want to continue performing well, if you want to continue praising and pleasing your woman in bed, then please make sure that you stop with your smoking. That has been our point number three. Point number four reasons that may be responsible for the shrinkage of a guy's manhood is putting on weight, okay? Gaining weight. Now, most guys, when they reach 40, 45, they put on weight by default, okay? Most of them. Now, I think the reason for this is that maybe by then, a man has already been established. A man has some money, a man has some investments. Okay, so they may not necessarily be rich, but at least they can afford a comfortable life. Yeah, so that means that every weekend he can go out, he can eat pork, he can eat goat meat, he can take lots of beers, and at the end of the day, you will start putting on weight. Okay, now we all know that when you put on weight, that means your stomach is going to be bigger, meaning that it will be covering your lower parts. Okay, so by default your D is going to reduce in size by default. Okay, because automatically when your stomach is big, the D will pull inside, and at the end of the day your D will appear smaller and it will shrink in size. So please make sure that you stop overeating and do more of exercise. Okay, that has been our point number four. Point number five, tight undies. Mm-hmm. Now, this is mostly for the young boys, okay? So these boys that are of the age between 15, 16, 18, 20. Why? Because by this time, their private part is still growing. Okay, it's not fully developed. Okay, now once they put on these undies that are very tight, that means that they are stopping their manhood from freely growing up. Okay, now I'll give you an example of two birds. Okay, so you get two birds that are born on the same day. Yep, and then you cage one and then you let the other to fly. Trust you me, if you monitor these two birds for say a month, there would be a very big difference between the one that you let to fly freely and the one that you caged. I mean, we all love to be free. So young boys watching this video, or if you're a parent watching this video, please advise your young boys to make sure that they do not put on tight undies. They will affect the manhood. Now, lastly, point number 6 is pyromyth disease. Now, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Okay. Now, this is a disease that is contracted through having very rough sex. Yeah. So, if you are a kind of guy who loves it vigorous, okay, you want to do it very fast, very quickly, and finish, you are likely to contract this disease. Okay. Now, most times guys do this either because they have taken long and they have been starving, or because they want or they are having a quickie and they are afraid that someone might walk in before they actually get to the climax. Or some just don't care. Probably they are having sex with a woman that they don't love. So all they mind is penetrating and coming. Okay? Well, I'm here to tell you that if you are doing that kind of sex, you are likely to suffer from pyrometric disease. Okay, so make sure that before you get inside your woman, make her ready. I keep telling you guys, romance her, kiss her, make her wait before you can finally get into her. And that will make you safe. Okay, now once you have this kind of rough sex, your the tissue on your private part will be affected. Why? Because that is a lot of pressure as you are penetrating through a womanhood that is dry and not ready to have you. Okay, so there will be an effect on your manhood. So make sure that before you get into the game, make sure that you have made your woman ready to receive you and that she is wet enough. Hmm. Well, guys, we've come to the end of today's topic, and I really hope that all the points that I've said will help somebody out there. Like I keep saying, if this topic is not meant for you, then trust me, there is somebody out there who would gladly love to have this kind of advice. So please do the needful, okay? Well, before you get off this video, I must say thank you so much. In case you've watched up to the end, thank you so much. You are the best, okay? So please, in case you have not yet subscribed, how about you do me the honor of subscribing, and I will be so grateful. Okay, so please subscribe to my YouTube channel and don't forget to tap on the bell notification so that each time that I post any video here, you will be among the very first person to be notified, just like that. Okay, yes, and also in case you've loved the video, please give me a big thumbs up and let YouTube know that you love this video. And lastly, if you feel that there is anything that I've left out, how about you leave a comment on the comment box? And if you appreciate the video, just let me know in the comment box and I will be glad to read and write back. Okay. Otherwise, that has been it from me to you. And I hope to see you again very soon with another super duper interesting topic. I love you guys and thank you for watching. Bye.